Today we're going to talk about how to crop, compress, resize and convert and compare images for your websites without having to upload your images to some random site on the internet, which causes a bit of a privacy issue. So we're going to go through, oh, by the way, I'm Andrew from andrew12tree.com. How are you? We're going to talk about why you need to compress your images, how you compress them traditionally, and how we can utilize the tool that I've created to do it step by step. We're going to run through how to do it. And if I'm not a little bit proud, I'm pretty impressed with the way this tool works and what you get for a free tool online, because how this came about is I obviously run a blog because you're on it, and I need to compress images and resize them and you know, make it so that these images are optimized for the website. Now I would have to use a combination of Paint, Canva. I found a tool called Compressor to compress the images, and then I had no way of comparing what the images would look like before and after. And I had another tool that I found that would allow me to convert a PNG to a JPG. That's like 4 or 5 different websites to do one image, and that really annoyed me, to be honest. So what I've done is, it started out as a little tool just to compress the images, but then I started adding features to it, and now it does everything. And I'm, you know, if I'm not saying so myself, I'm pretty impressed with the way this tool works. So why do you need to compress your images? Now obviously I run a blog, and the time it takes for your page to load, Google knows. And if it's slow, it won't push that website because the user experience is not as good as a fast loading website. Let's have an example. I'm going to click on the free browser here. Now, this is the tool we're talking about, this one here. I've also got a free QR code generator, which allows you to put logos and your photo and borders and stuff in there, which is really cool. But let's see how quick this loads. If I click on it, bang, it's there within a second. So that's what people expect. So if we go back home, let's to find this, because these two tools won't always be at the top of my website. Come to tools up the top here, and you can see there's going to be a list of all the different tools. Now here we've got the QR code generator and the browser-based image compressor and cropping tool, resizing, all that sort of stuff. There will be more tools coming. For example, there's going to be a background remover for an image. There's going to be like a keyword research tool. There's going to be let me just quickly check my notes, frequently asked questions generator, and all kinds of things. And look, if you're into wasting a bit of time, there's probably going to be a bit of a game center as well, just to throw a few old arcade games up, which could be pretty cool. So right, so let's go over to this free browser. In fact, I was going to give you an example. If we go to a normal blog post on my page, you can see how quickly that loads. Now this is a lead capture page. If I click on that, it pops up almost instantly, right? Now, this is why you need to optimize. Imagine you've got 2 separate lead capture pages with a big fancy image there selling you how to bake a potato perfectly, for example. And let's just say that's something that you desire. The first page has the image, which is 4 megabytes. It hasn't been compressed. When people click on that image, it takes 10 seconds to load, and you get that little spinning circle. Okay, how long do you wait for the spinning circle before you close out of the page? Normally it's 1 or 2 seconds. So if it spins for more than that, you've lost the sale. They never get to see your lead capture page because they go, oh, it's frozen, and they log out of it, right? In comparison, imagine you've got the same lead capture page, but the image has been compressed from 4 megabytes down to 100 gigabytes or less. That page loads instantly and within a second, and you look at it, you want to know how to bake potatoes. It's offering on how to do it perfectly in 10 minutes or something. And you go, that's exactly what I want. You enter your name and your email and you've got the sale. That's the difference. No sale, sale, not optimized, optimized. So same goes with e-commerce sites. All right. You've got your product images. Okay, now you want them to be compressed, fast loading and all that, but you want them also, your customers, to be able to look at the images and see what they're getting for their money. So even though on your website you might have smaller images, and I know Amazon and eBay and a lot of other sites do this, when you click on the image, it can go larger so you can see what you're getting. So look at this image on my blog. It's a bit of an infographic, really, isn't it? You can read it, but some of it's pretty small. So if I click on it, you can see it pops out and gets bigger, so you can see all the wording and the picture itself. Now, that is a plugin on my blog. I think it's like Fire something Lightbox, or I tell you what, if you want to know what plugin I use to do that, ask for it down in the comments of this blog post and I'll send that forward through to you. That is optimized. All right, that's probably only like 30 gigabytes. You can see it's very quick loading. So here's where the rubber hits the road, I guess. You now know why you need to optimize your images. So let's go and show you how this tool works. And here's the tool right here. Okay, private, browser-based image cropper and compressor. So if we click on choose file, what we're going to do is we're going to select a file which is, say, a PNG, and the file is 2.2 megabytes. All right, we click open, and what happens is it gives you the file name there and it gives you a preview of the image. Okay, now the image is 1280 by 720 pixels and it's a PNG because we just uploaded it up there. See, gives you a preview. Now the displayed preview is only 1092 by 614 because it doesn't fit. All right, the image is too big, so the image is displayed smaller so it fits on the screen. So you've got the image right now. Is that the image you want, or do you want to do a cropping of the image? So you might have downloaded this from Google, or you might have got AI to create it or something, and you want to do an image so you want to crop the image, you want to make it smaller or select a piece out of that. And let's just say you want to have a thumbnail for a reel. Okay, so you want a vertical 9 by 16. Now there are other options. You can do a square one, a YouTube, you can do blog featured images, and there's specific sizes. So there's a lot of presets, or you can freehand it, freeform it. Okay, so let's do a freeform and give you an example. We'll go apply crop preview. Now you can see below, that's the preview of what you've cropped, but to crop it, you need to come up here. See the blue dot in the corner? You can drag that around and just say you want to do a close-up of the man's face. All right? So you can drag that, let that go, and there's the crop area. Now, if you come down to your preview, guess what? It shows you what you've cropped. Now, let's just say you want to do, as I said, your vertical one. So you click Apply Crop Preview again. You can see there the man's face is missing and you've only got half the QR code. So you want to do the man's face. but you want to go a bit closer, so you can drag it in. Now you can see there, I can drag it whatever direction I want, but it keeps the 9:16 aspect ratio. And once it gets to the bottom of the page, it won't let you drag it sideways and distort that image, all right, that profile. So let's say that's the one you want. We come down and we can see that's exactly what you get on your preview and say, yep, that's what I want. So if you want to reset or change it, just come back up, select a different one, click apply crop preview, and you can see there it's got a 1-to-1. And let's just say you want to have more customers and the QR code, okay, which is there, but you've sort of got an ear poking out and stuff like that. So you might want to look at that. Let's just say that's the one you want, but you don't need it to be 720 by 720. Okay, so now you've got the cropping that you want. So you've adjusted what you want in the picture. Now you've got 4 presets for compressing this. You've got high quality, which only compresses it a bit. Blog optimized. I generally use smaller file or fast loading depending on the size of the image that you begin with. Now this image up here is 2 megabytes, so I could probably go fast loading, which really compresses it a bit. Now, as I said, I don't need a 720 file. I only need a 600 wide square image. So I can just type in max pixel width and it keeps the aspect ratio automatically. All right, so let's go 600. And do you want to keep it as a PNG or do you want to convert it to a JPG for smaller file size? Let's do both. All right, we go keep original format. Let's compress the image. Let's look. So there's the image. It's square. The original was 2.2 megabytes, all right, or 2,200 gigabytes. The final is 662 gigabytes, which is still pretty big. It's saved 70%, and it's still a PNG. Right, I think that's too big. So let's come up here and let's go change this to convert to JPG and compress the image again. All right, looks pretty much identical. We come down here and it's gone from 2.2 megabytes down to 42 gigabytes, and you save 98% of the file size, and it's a JPG. And look at this, the actual dimensions are 600 by 600, which is what you want. All right, and you can even say, right, there's the original image. You can see it's a little bit sharper. All right, and here's the final image, your cropped image with more customers and a QR code. Okay, so your original, final image, so you can compare them. So what you now want to do is you've got the option to convert it to a WebP, which is a fairly new file format that's designed to compress images for websites and so forth. So let's try that. And you can say, all right, it's gone from 42.1 to 41.5. All right, so it saved you another 1.3%. But let's just say sometimes if that WebP image is larger than the JPEG, this will come up as a red warning box and say, hey, you're adding file size now. So it gives you the option to revert back to the JPEG, which it just did. Then you can click download final image and you'll see up here it's downloaded the JPEG. So if we come up here to where the downloads are, here it is here. You can see it's compressed. All right, and all you need to do is click on that and you could type in more customers, QR code. Now, obviously, when you're putting images on your website, you want to give it a name so that Google knows what it is and can push your thing. For example, here's the image tool that's got free browser-based image compressor cropper featured image. That's the image for my blog post. And you can see that this one here is now 40-something gigabytes instead of 2.2 megabytes. Okay, So, and let's just say you're working on your website and you've got several images to do. You can either scroll right back up the top and click select, choose file and start again, or if you're down the bottom and you've just downloaded that image, then you can go start over and it goes whoop, straight back up to the top. Choose your next file, and that one might be this image. Okay, it gives you the preview. Okay, then you can crop it, you can reduce it, you can change the size or the max width of the thing, you can convert it, you can compare the images, and you can download it. So guys, to get something that powerful that does that many options, I previously had to use 5 different websites. This is all in one tool. How much am I going to charge you? Nothing. It's free. Now you might see an ad just above the image compressor. You might see an ad below it. You might see the odd ad in between. Now don't click them accidentally, only if you like what you see in the ad. But that's how I'm making money out of it. All right. Because this is browser based, nothing at all uploads to my server. So there's no real server load. So other than trying to extort, bloggers and e-commerce sites for every penny I can, I'm going to give this tool for free, and it will always be for free. So what I suggest you do is bookmark this page. Come back every time you need to do an image for your blog or your e-commerce site or anything. All right, even for social media. If you've got an option like this and you want to crop your image to put up on Facebook, come and use it here. You go crop. You don't need to compress it as such for social media, but it might pay. Make the max width, what you need it to be, and compress the image. So you could be using this for social media as well as websites and blog posts and things like that. So bookmark it. If you've got a blog, feel free to write a blog post about this tool and link back to it. In fact, I'd prefer you do that. It helps me out as well. So if you want guest blog posts and stuff like that, just reach out, and vice versa. So that's the tool, guys. I believe it's very powerful. I'm very impressed with how it's turned out myself, if I don't say so. Because what turned into could I do this, turned into like an epic event. This has taken me a week to write, but I believe it's kick-ass, and a lot of people are going to get benefit from it. So, give me some support, give me some love. Comment down the bottom what you're using this image compressor for. Okay, come down here in the comments and pop your comment in there. Everything helps out. So on that, be awesome. Use this at your heart's content, and I will speak to you later. Be awesome.